right, hello and welcome everyone to the Black and Gold. This is HiBruiNation, the unofficial home of your Boston Bruins. I'm Goosey, joined as always by your favorite co-host Higgy, aka Balls Biggie. Kyle, say hi.
What's up, everybody?
Did you not think I was going to say it?
I didn't. I just skimmed over. I wouldn't even pay attention.
I went full send, buddy. And of course, the vibes captain, Matty V. Dude, say hi.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm still having audio and, temperature problems in Studio V. Still very cold, still very laggy, but we're buzzing.
Didn't you get a space heater?
We talked about this last time. I have a space heater, but it trips the breaker. I got to figure something else out.
Have you?
Just
wait,
like
that's
fire on the
that's
ground.
where we
like,
stand.
just build a indoor campfire.
Wait, so hold on. You're telling me that you get called for tripping? Damn, that's crazy.
I wish.
Bump.
Freezing my ass off.
That was a really bad joke.
It was a very bad joke.
Yep.
Wow. Fellas, you know what? It's going to be difficult to keep changing Higgy's nickname every time. Eventually, I'm going to run out of shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's not going to be long until, like, I just change his name completely. Like, have you guys ever seen Scrubs?
I never watched Scrubs.
You've never seen Scrubs?
I have not, no. It's one of my favorite bits, though, the whole, with every changing Kyle's intro every single episode. One of my favorite bits.
Buddy, you need to go watch Scrubs because literally it's about like doctors, right? It's on comedy, or it was on Comedy Central. I don't think it's not airing anymore, but like you can go watch it on Hulu. And then basically like there's this guy JD who's like a resident, and this guy Dr. Cox just changes his name to some different female name every time he sees him. It's the fucking funniest thing. Like anytime like JD has a point, he's just like, okay, listen, Bethany, Sarah, Michelle, whatever. You know, he just like shoots him down so freaking bad, like with the girl names. It's honestly hilarious. You guys have to watch it. I feel like I'm gonna end up calling like Higgy, like, I don't know, Rachel one of these times, and it's
one of my favorite bits. But there's definitely going to be a time where we hit a wall with it.
It never hitting a wall with it. I'm just going to change his name.
Honestly, I believe. Yeah, I believe in you guys.
I'm changing his name. I will genuinely make up a birth certificate and post it on this website for Higgy. He's going to have so many people.
Forged documents can't be that much nowadays.
Nah, dude. Like the U.S. government is going to not know who you are. You're going to go off the grid. Like completely off the grid.
Honestly, that sounds like the dream. I would spend money to go off the grid.
These are definitely not like anything conventional. By the way, guys, stick around. We do have one awesome show for you guys tonight. We're gonna talk about Wahlstrom's first few games, the Tyler Johnson being waived for his contract being terminated, our game recaps, and much more. But I just wanted to really ask you guys first, like outside of the whole changing Higgy's nickname thing, like, have you guys actually ever had weird nicknames, like in high school, college, like when you guys were on sports teams?
Not really. Big. It's always a big
really
last
weird
name thing. So I got Vogel. Kyle does this weird thing where he changes my name in his phone every couple months to something fucking weird and random. Like we played a video game one time. We were in like 7th grade, and one of the characters from that game was my name in his phone for, I don't know, 8 years. And then he watched like Letterkenny, and my name was Boomtown for some reason. And then he does this weird thing. Kyle goes through these spurts where he just does weird shit.
That's freaking awesome. So you were just a plain Jane dude. You really didn't have like nobody nicknamed you anything in like sports. Like I know we were in the same fraternity, but like you never really had anything. Yeah, you were always Vogel.
No, not so much. I mean, again, we were always big last name guys. We were never nothing too weird.
Kyle, what about you? Was it always just like Higgins?
Yeah,
Higgy?
no. Yeah, I got Higgs or Higgy. And that was probably only lasted up until like the start of high school. I feel like it didn't even really carry into high school. Yeah, nobody ever got too clever with it.
Wow,
how about you?
Mine was Porky Jr.
God's
was Porky Jr. because my brother was Porky.
Thanks, Rick.
I don't know what's worse, being Porky or Junior.
Yeah, I think I would. I honestly, I don't know. Maybe I would. I don't know if I would like either of those. I'd probably rather. Yeah, you're right. I'd rather the Porky as opposed to the
Just
Junior. I don't
not
know.
quite Porky.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
don't
was
know.
younger. My older
Yeah,
brother.
no wonder
Porky, I'm
God's so
Porky
spiteful.
Jr. And that was
Yeah.
before the movie Porky's. So we're the original.
I guess he was original. No, I didn't really. I mean, I guess I try. I always had like Cam. I tried CJ once. It didn't really work because my middle name's Joseph. So like didn't work out. It
I
felt
mean,
weird.
you call yourself Goosey on this show right now, so you should
I
probably elaborate on that
do,
for the people.
but well, that's just
Yeah,
because
you're,
of my
you're
fraternity
definitely not
nickname.
a CJ.
No, I'm not. I tried it once and I was like, you know what, this doesn't
You're
this
definitely
doesn't
not a
fit.
CJ.
No, not at all.
Where does Goosey come from, though? Where do you get that?
That actually came from Vogel. So he was like our fraternity like nickname guy. So basically, like I don't know, we were at this like event and like he screamed a name and I guess I just looked in his general direction and he's just like pointed at me and he just goes, "That's your name. You made your bed, sleep in it." I was like, okay. So I guess I was just Goose. And every time I asked where he got that
Yeah, there's
from,
really no rhyme or reason to anything I really did ever.
yeah, like no, literally nothing.
Same.
I got to remember what you named other people. Like it was just bad. You had so many different things that you would call
Both are good.
people. I mean, yeah, that's
are good.
probably outside of that though. Like I played football in high school, and my team, was also like last name people, so they just called me Sax, which was weird. So
That's a good one.
yeah, so I was like, all right, cool. So I guess that's my
How did
name.
I
I'll sleep on it.
never think of that?
Yeah, that was just it. And there were several reasons why, but none of which are appropriate to talk about on this podcast. So, by the way, Higgy and I will be clacking them at Warrior Ice Arena this week. So between the hours of 8 a.m. to up until we get arrested on Monday morning in celebration of the
Sliding
Bruins.
scale.
Yeah, in celebration of the Bruins 2-1 week this week for their 2-0-1 record this week. But before we get into that, let's get into the Bear Down
5
breakdown.
points.
Good week.
Yeah, good week, fellas. Before we get started into the actual week itself, let's talk about Tyler Johnson. Just because it's a little bit of old news. I mean, that news broke pretty much after we acquired Oliver Wahlstrom off of waivers from the New York Islanders. Tyler Johnson was waived and his contract was terminated. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I got no love lost one way or the other. Good for him for getting the opportunity. There was unconditional waivers, which usually points towards it being mutual. So I'm sure it was sort of both parties saying, "Hey, appreciate the help. Don't think it's working." He probably wants to go try to find a spot where he can get some more consistent ice time. I mean, he only got into 9 games for us, and I feel like he wasn't many where you really kind of noticed him. But I'm sure there'll be some team out there where he can sort of serve as a more bottom 6 kind of fixture, maybe for a younger team or a team towards the bottom that just needs a bit of a veteran presence. So, love you, mean it. The Tyler Johnson experience didn't do too much for us, but hopefully you can catch on somewhere else.
Yeah, it was I thought it was going to work out being a veteran in the room and just having, playoff experience and cup experience with a young team. It never really felt like he kind of clicked with the rest of the team. And like Kyle said, he only played 9 games. He was kind of just, in the lineup when other guys needed a break. So I don't feel anything bad for him. Like Kyle said, I hope he gets gets picked up somewhere. But I mean, I don't feel like we really lost a ton.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that. Pretty much what both of you guys said. I think every Bruins fan, at the beginning of the season, because the Bruins were playing so bad, that they were saying, like, oh, just sign Johnson, get him here. It's another veteran guy in the locker room. Hopefully that might right the ship. He's got some Stanley Cup pedigree, this, that, the other thing. He's another depth forward that we could hopefully rely on. And it just didn't work out. It was unfortunate. Like, I have no issues with Tyler Johnson. I liked Tyler Johnson as a player. I liked him for the Lightning. I thought he was a good acquisition by Chicago. I don't think he'll stay out for very, very long. But I think at this point he is like a, that seventh or like that seventh player, that you consider putting in the lineup. I don't think he's a consistent lineup guy right now. He's someone that can cycle in and out. No, I hope he finds work. Good player. I've seen him skate. He's still a good skater. Still a good two-way forward. So hopefully something comes his way. Or there's always a possibility of
maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
There's always that. That could always happen. So I don't know.
Cool.
I wanted to take sound management away from you.
Yeah. But we get Oliver Wahlstrom instead. He played 2 games. He was acquired, I believe, before we played against Calgary. I think it was on Monday. We acquired him. He played his first 2 games against Edmonton and Buffalo this past week. I kind of had a feeling that they were not going to play him right away in Calgary. Just get him a couple practices and feel out the team, get introduced to the locker room and everything like that. He almost recorded a point against Edmonton. I didn't like the third line yesterday against Buffalo of Braz, Trent, and Wahlstrom. I just didn't like it. Didn't look good. But what do you guys think? I think so far so good.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of slow rolling him in. I think between the 2 games, he was averaging like just over 9 minutes of ice time. And then the fact that even in those 2 games, he was basically on 2 entirely different lines, because I think it was between the Edmonton and then the Buffalo game that Coyle got shifted to the top 6, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be hard to read into much. I mean, it's somebody that gives you a different look, different type of skill set than what you already had. I did think it was funny. It was like the first thing you noticed. He gets on the ice, makes the debut in Edmonton, and I think he blew a tire twice in the first period, just ate shit by himself. So it's just like the optics of starting your tenure like that was kind of funny. But I think it'll be an interesting guy to watch. I don't want to throw too high of expectations on him, because again, let's not forget that this is a guy that the team that drafted him basically said, yeah, now we're all set. But it's exactly the type of player that I wanted, that this team should be sort of taking a gamble on, because the one thing that you truly sorely lack is finishing ability. So if there's any sort of low risk option that has any offensive upside, absolutely bring it on in.
Vogel, what are your thoughts on the acquisition of Wahlstrom and how he's played so far?
I thought he looked good this week. Again, no, he's not going to come in and change your whole team. I thought he looked good. He was a solid player. He made some nice play. I thought you were right in the sense that he was going to at least score a goal this week, just based off, a gut feeling. But I think it's a good move. You need depth guys. You need, top 6 guys. You need someone to fill that second, third line wing spot that's been kind of a rotating door. And, I'm not saying he's going to be the next standout guy, but maybe he might be the next consistent piece that you need on a team that's trying to build a young core.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a cornerstone piece of that. I mean, if not Wahlstrom, do you guys think, and don't get me wrong, I'm very happy that we got Oliver Wahlstrom, but do you guys think that with what Seattle gave up for Capo Caco, do you think the Bruins would have attempted him, knowing that the Rangers are more or less in a free fall right now, and that they were willing to give him up, especially for that? That wasn't a lot for him.
Yeah, no, I thought we should have been in on him. I'm trying to think of
Do
like
we know
what
for
the
sure that we
equivalent. No, I'm sure we were. I'm sure you at least kicked the tires, gave a call. But I guess like the one thing for me is I don't really want to see this team expend any more draft capital unless it's for somebody that you have like beyond this year. Like I want this team to add. I think they need to add, but I definitely am not giving up more draft capital for guys that you don't have any control over. So that's why like the younger targets like the Kako would make a hell of a lot more sense for me for them to have been in on to begin with.
Can I throw something in there? You think it's possible the Rangers didn't want to send him in their conference?
Different division.
It's possible for sure, but I still think that I think they're at the point where they're going to want the best return. But I think if it's apples to apples, I'm sure they'd rather see it go elsewhere.
Yeah, so would I. Because God forbid if like the second round pick actually the second overall pick of what, like 2018 or 2020, I can't remember exactly when Kako was picked. I actually think it was the same year Wallstrom. I think it was 2018 because he's 24 right now. Yeah, imagine if he comes to Boston. You would have had to, the Boston would have had to move Morgan Geekie, and I think they probably would have done that and a 5th round pick with what, you know, Seattle gave up, which was almost nothing to get him. So I mean, Boston had to move money, but getting Wallstrom was for free. So I think as soon as Boston saw that, they probably removed any potential to go for Kako. And then if you notice, Kako was traded pretty closely after that. So I think that the Bruins were involved in some capacity. What do you think, Vogel?
I wanted him. That's why I say like I wonder if they were even in talks, because I mean he's kind of what, when you think about what the Bruins need, he's right up there.
Yeah, they're similar in many fashions. They're like Wallstrom and Kako. Like they're both big power forwards in a way, right? Highly talented. I would argue maybe Wallstrom might be slightly more than Kako. That's just what I've seen. But Kako's performed, I think, slightly better on a much better team, and Wallstrom was on. I don't think the Islanders were ever really a good team in that span of what she was there from 2018 to what now, the 6 years. I don't think that they were that good. They were making splashes. They were getting older, not better. So I don't know. I'm glad he's here. I'm glad we have Wallstrom. I was just curious if you guys thought that if not him, we knew we needed a right wing. Kako seemed to be the other option, and seeing that he was being sold for pennies on the dollar, similar to the way Trouba was traded, pennies on the dollar again. Like, why not?
Trouba, what a mess.
They're 16,
The whole
16
team's
and
a
I think
disaster.
1. Yeah, they're not great. I think they're 16, 16 and 1. I mean, they're not out of it. I'll say that, but it's a hot mess. So
I'm just saying Trouba in general. What a piece of dirt, huh?
Oh, him? Not a big Trouba guy. Not a Trouba guy.
What a douchebag.
Yeah, no.
That guy is a headhunting piece of crap.
Dude's a loser.
What a bum. I hear he's a great family guy.
And then to try to like, which one was it? The most recent one where then he like went on a thing and like his public apology, but then just wasn't even apologizing. It was just like, oh, you're okay. We're doing this.
Yeah, it was a joke. By the way, did you guys see just quickly on the Rangers while we're there? Matt Rempe, 8 games. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's your boy, right?
Is he at the point?
That dude.
Is he at the point yet where he's got more cumulative games suspended than he does games played?
I think he has 11 games.
Right? I think he's only got like.
Yeah, he has 22 NHL games, four ejections, like an egregious amount of penalty minutes, and like 11 games suspended. He spent half of his career suspended in the NHL, effectively. What do you do with that?
He's a liability.
I want to see anybody trying to like close that gap.
What'd you say, Vogel? What a douchebag!
So a douchebag. There's full of douchebags over there.
Yeah. Well, did you see the hit? Not to go off like the rails on this, but I just wanted that was people were saying that's a clean hit. I'm like, that's not a clean hit. He drove his elbow into the guy's neck. Like, I don't think he really probably wanted to hurt him, but you knew what you were doing going into that hit. And his reaction after I wouldn't have lasted. I'd get knocked the fuck out and just by looking at him. But even I wanted to stand
I'm sorry. I'm not
up
betting on you, Cam.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd bet on Rempe. I would. Please.
I'd like to see it.
I know you would. But damn. Anyway, fuck Trouba. Fuck Rempe. Just dude, fuck the Yankees. So like whatever. Let's do a little bit of Providence talk. Patra still on a heater, almost a point per game player in Providence right now. Do you think that they reunite him on the third line?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he actually got to a point per game officially.
Oh, he did.
I was
Okay,
thinking
sorry.
this, and I was figuring, I was like, after the roster freeze for the holiday, you have to, especially with them moving Coyle off of the third line center role. It's just like, if ever there was a time, it's now. Give everybody the time to like sort of take the break over the holiday, get settled, whole team regroups. You come back from that, bring him into the fold so that he gets the few practices before they kick off, and then just slot him in there. It's like you need scoring, you need to integrate the young kids. It's like the answer is not going to be throwing Frederick back at center down there and hoping that some third line like we had against Buffalo is going to click, because it's not. So please, please bring him back.
Vogel.
I've been saying that for a while. I don't know why he ever got sent down. And I see people on Twitter like, what's the rush? What? Let him fucking develop.
Yeah, I've seen.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you don't want him back on this team.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I agree in the sense that like, let him develop a little bit, but like I don't think he really needs to develop that much more. I think he should. I agree with like, let him ramp up, but who are you going to let him develop with? They've called up everyone else except him and Lysell. Like in the Providence Bruins, yeah, they're buzzing. They have a couple good vets down there to help develop them, but I think Patra even last year in his few games, like I think he showed you that he is an NHL ready player, and maybe spending some time down there again, those top 6 minutes, which he is. But I think you can there's no shame in calling him up, giving him a look on the third line, move Trent over to the left wing, have Trent, Patra, and Wahlstrom be a line that elevates Coyle, I think, back to either a 2C or the 1C spot. And then, like, you move Zacha to the left wing, but you got to keep Zacha and Pastrnak together. Like, don't get me wrong, that line of Marchand, Lindholm, Coyle, that put in work against, I think it was Calgary. It put in work against Buffalo, but I think Coyle is best served as a center.
Even to say there's no shame in bringing him back up, to me, is crazy. And you want to let him develop, and you want to let like how much? What else does he have to do to develop for people to see that he belongs to be up here?
Yeah, his two-way game
look
is
at the games
unreal.
he's been
The other
down there.
argument
Look at the
too
numbers
is
so far. What else does he have to do to prove that he belongs at the big league level?
Yep.
And the other thing too, it's not like you got a murderer's row standing in his way of taking a spot. Like
Exactly.
there's the offense is struggling. It's just like you should be looking. We're talking about a guy that we picked up off waivers. Like he's going to come in and be our savior. So it's just like you don't have people that should be blocking him from coming into the lineup. There's not many people that I would be upset about them taking out of the lineup to get him in. And
No,
to
I wouldn't.
Kim,
And you
what
need
you were
to-
saying, my only concern
Yeah.
is I also think that Zacha is better served playing center. So I think I'd like to see the experiment with Coyle on the wing and see if he takes to it better. Because I think that was one of the big things we saw at the start of the season with Zacha was that they put him on the wing. It didn't really click for him. He didn't get anything going. And then when they made the move to put him back at center is when he sort of seemed to wake up. So I don't know if you want to risk burning that again. But obviously this is a team that's like 95% centers. I think is our E-Bug a center. I feel like we just stock nothing but centers.
Our super e-bug is little Susie in 4th grade sitting in section 322.
That would be awesome. I think we talked about it, right? Like how awesome
Yeah,
it
we
would be
did.
if we just
Yeah.
had like a super e-bug and it's just some random fan gets called down. It's like some like infant that gets called to the locker room. Like, all right, put him in. Like, let's go. Like they'll stop something. I understand what you're saying about Zacha, Higgy. You can't. I don't know. I like the experiment, and you're right. We are super saturated at centers, but then that leads me to the question: like, we need a left wing then, because I don't like Geeky on the left side. I don't. I think Geeky's still best served on that third line with Trent, Patra. I'm sorry, with Trent and Patra. Like, now that Geeky's getting going, now you need Trent to get going. And I think Patra is just that creative player that can get those two individuals moving. And, then you move Wallstrom up to the second line and, with Marshawn Lindholm and, you put Coyle on the first line with Zaka and Pasta. I feel like that's, you can get something going with that. Or maybe you can try Pasta on his off wing, that you could try that. And that way you almost have like two centers on each line. The only one where you don't, I think, is the second line, because I don't think Wallstrom plays center. And then Beecher, and then you can have Beecher, Cast, and Braz, because unfortunately, I don't think Koepke's doing enough right now. So that's
down.
Yeah, that's the way I would have it. And I think it's a much deeper team, and you have some creativity on each line, I think, on there. You know what I mean? And I think that's actually something that the fourth line's missing right now, is a guy like Braz. By the way, Cast is the balls.
I was kind of debating the same thing. Yeah, I was like, I don't know whether you pull Koepke and let Braz slide down there, or if Braz, I think, has been a lot quieter as of late. Do you maybe give him a game or two to kind of take the seat, go to the 9th level, and maybe get a little jump when he gets back in the lineup?
And so, but like, to your point, Higgy, with keeping Zaka at center, okay, well then do you take Geeky out entirely? Or who serves that
he's
left wing?
After I shot him into the sun. Now he's getting hot again. So I gotta.
Yeah, he effectively scored
send
2
him an
goals
apology.
last night.
I love
reel him back in.
Yeah,
reel him back in from that sun.
Yeah, I'd say the Rocket. Can we hit eject on the Rockets when he comes back from the sun?
Have you noticed that a lot of times this season, every time we've called out a player, they have gone back and performed or scored at least 1 goal or 2-3 points. Maybe the week that we've called him out, Zadorov, the week that we called him out, he goes off, scores a goal, and gets a couple points. I'm like, okay, so cool. Should we just say the whole Bruins team every week needs to go out and perform? Maybe we jinx them. I don't know. So I'm not saying anything with regards to a Stanley Cup at all.
Yeah, you hear that, Johnny Beecher?
Heart winner, Johnny Beecher. I don't care how shitty of a take that is. It's happening. It is happening. Johnny Beecher. Heart winner. So then left wing then, right? Could we say that then? If they're not going to call up Patra, then with the team saturated full of centers, Bruins need a left wing.
I think you need to call up Patra and add the left wing.
Who do you get rid of?
I don't care.
Who do you trade for that left wing?
To be honest.
Do you sign a guy like I think it's he was a Hab, Mike Hoffman? Do you go get Mike Hoffman and sign him on a cheap deal? Send Brazeau down or something like that? Go get Mike Hoffman?
Something like that. Although from everything you hear about that guy, he's kind of a nightmare. Because I remember way back, I wanted the Bruins to target him at one of the deadlines, and I think it ended up being the season that all the news came out that it was like him and his girlfriend, like straight up like teammates had restraining orders against them and shit like that. So I was like, I don't know if I want that guy. I want that skill set for sure. If you can find me a Mike Hoffman minus the baggage,
minus the shit.
You don't want Mike Hoffman.
Yeah.
You don't want
Thanks,
him.
God.
Yeah. Give me the skill set, but not the guy.
The Habs had him. He did.
Yeah, I know.
All.
Yeah.
You don't want him.
But the Habs aren't the Bruins, so I mean,
they're better. I know they're better. I know you were meant to say that.
The Bruins are better. So
yeah, and this culture, and they don't suck as bad.
But you're not going to find a first or second line left wing for cheap, unless Chicago's willing to move Taylor Hall, which I do not think they're going to be willing to do, because I would want to bring Taylor Hall back here. But I don't see how you do that. I don't see how you basically trade him away just to welcome him back. I feel like that would just be a mess, and it's not something that they should do. So I don't know. But the Bruins need a left wing if they're not.
I missed that conversation and got bits and pieces, but fuck the Habs.
Yeah, I guess everybody left to tune
Love you,
in for
Vogel.
our deadline primer episode.
Anytime we talk about the Habs, it's like fuck you, Rick. Okay, that's fine, but that's just our thoughts on Providence. I mean, let's just briefly bring up Lysell too, because Lysel's picked it up a bit too. He's showing flashes of his talent.
You will
know,
do anything to talk about him.
I do. I love Lysell, dude. I love to hate him. Actually, I should say that. I absolutely love to hate this guy.
Oh, please, love
But I
to
do.
hate him.
I love to hate him, and I
You
hate
love
to
to
love
hate him.
him.
You got a picture
I
of him on your ceiling
do.
above your bed.
You have
Relax.
no idea. I have. If I could have wallpaper of Fabian Lysell, I absolutely would. Yeah, he's got 25 games, 14 points, man. I don't know. I just want. I've been watching some of the Bruins network, so I've seen like some of his creativity. So I don't know. I'd like to see him eventually grow and become better, but that's just a pipe dream at this point. But it looks like he's starting to learn a little bit. So let's keep an eye on him. But he's not a left winger. He came into the league as left winger, but he pivoted to the right, I believe. At least that's what I thought I read. So I could be wrong on that. All right, let's get into the weekly recap a little bit here. Bruins went 2-0-1, 5 points. They broke even on their 5-game road trip. So good. I guess I'll kind of take that. It was very long. Fuck those late night games.
Yeah, I'm so sick of the schedule this year.
It is not great. At least if you're going to have like some of those late night games be on the weekend, can you like flex them to like 4 p.m. or something, or like 7 p.m.? Like, can you do something about that? Like, I feel like that's very manageable, especially on a weekend. You know what I mean? Like, figure that out. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to get the count because I want to know what percentage of the games that we've played so far this year have been something
It's
outside of the
crazy. I'm
typical
glad it's over.
prime time.
I think that it was a good week.
Go ahead, Vogel.
I think I just talked completely over you.
You're good. Just you're good. Go ahead. Haggy's patiently waiting.
There's such a delay. I have not had a good couple weeks.
Welcome to therapy with Vogel.
Dude, it's terrible. It's so bad. Late night games suck, and the Bruins. I'm happy with the result of the last week. I'll take 2-0-1. I'll take 5 points out of 3 games.
Bruins beat Flames 4-3.
Oilers, they lost 3-2 in overtime. Killed me. I had them sweeping this week. I was so ecstatic, and I was just like, yes, boys. Get me to prove the boys at HiBruiNation wrong, that you will beat the Edmonton Oilers. It goes 2-1, and I'm sitting there in my living room like, okay, this is good. This is fine. We're still winning. And then McDavid goes in, scores a goal, and I was like, God damn it. You guys are going to do this to me right now. And then Matthias Ekholm scores the overtime winner, and I was just like, well, okay.
Do you guys want to beat around the bush, or do you want to just come out and say that the game tying and the game winning goals were David Pasternak's fault?
2 bad changes.
We don't have to come out and say it, but I just feel like I know it's on everyone's mind, so we can put it in our back pockets if we want.
Yeah, the OT one especially. That one.
No, it's cat's out of the bag. Yep.
Yeah, the OT one especially was pretty rough. I mean, he was gassed. I mean, everyone was saying it. He was gassed. But I'm like, dude, still, like, you can't. I don't know. I feel like that entire game, the only thing that you could really have issues with that game was that the line changes were not crisp. They were miscommunicating on those heavily in the Oilers game. Like it wasn't clean in that regard. But the Calgary and Oilers games were good games. Like they were good, I think 60-minute efforts up until McDavid went and did McDavid things. By the way, people were also blaming Swayman for the last goal that McDavid scored. And I'm like, I'll give you the goal that Hyman scored because that was just a shot that Swayman should have had. But I'm willing to give Swayman some credit when you have the world's best player barreling down on you and you go down into like, the spread eagle
best behind Johnny Beecher.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Johnny. And he comes barreling down on you. You go to the spread eagle. You look like you make the save, but McDavid makes the additional push with his stick and the puck goes in the net. I don't know what else you really want to do there. Like, give McDavid some respect in that regard. So I don't think that game was Swayman's fault. So I think
I
it
don't
was
think it was
solely on Pastas.
not his fault.
Okay, well that's a scapegoat. Like, come on, what are we doing? Like, there's 5 other players on the fucking ice.
I don't
Like,
know. I think
you shouldn't be blaming your goaltender off of every shot. The Hyman one, I'm gonna give. I'll give everyone that. Like the Zach Hyman shot, he should have had, no question.
But if he has, then that's the game though. Sometimes,
What?
like
Yeah, he has
I'm
the
not gonna
Hyman
blame him
shot,
for
sure.
everything, but it's like, yeah, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like you can't fully let him slide and say, it's not his fault. It's like, well, at certain points, like you need Jeremy Swayman to be Jeremy Swayman and steal you a game or two.
Okay, you were still
Like that
up
is
2
a
to
game.
nothing.
So it's not. Yeah, but you're giving life, and it's just like it's one of those games where it's like, you get up early, and then nothing comes of it. It's just like you're just waiting for that shoe to drop. You're waiting for them to have a little bit of life,
Yeah.
and it's just like as soon as you give them a little bit of life, now you're sweating.
Well, I'll still
You
argue
could
that.
see, you could see the time where the game turned and we were going to lose. You could see that happen.
Yeah.
I guess,
And,
but still,
and I
I'm
think they
still
played well. I
looking
thought it
at
was a great game. I thought they played well.
Yeah, I'll take a point against Edmonton, but I'm still going to contest that and say, like, I'm not going to blame Swayman. I'm not going to say it was his fault. It also wasn't his. Like, I'm just going to say I don't think it was his fault. You still have 5 people on the ice. Your line changes were the cause of why you lost, and you're still up 2 to nothing at the point where Hyman makes the flutter shot and it just goes in. Also, that puck just seemingly found Hyman. Like, if you watch the play, the puck was bouncing like that night. It was kind of crazy.
It's definitely not all his fault, but to Kyle's point, that's the kind of game where you're, $8.25 million a year goalie should steal you that game against a team that is, objectively better than you.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Swayman has stolen us any games this year.
I saw a stat where he has the worst goals saved above expected in the league.
Yep. He is minus 12.5. Minus 12.5 in goals saved above expected, which is terrible.
So you want me to make that even worse?
Sure.
Add that to the fact that our team defense has actually improved to the point where we're now in the top 10 for 5-on-5 expected goals against. So it's like our goal differential versus like expected differential is far and away worse than the league, but our team D is now top 10.
Yeah. So there is an issue with the goaltender there.
Top 10 D, baby.
They're finally clicking. Hey, Zadorov is not being as much of a potato as he was.
Credit where credit's due. He has acquired a brain cellar too.
Yeah. I like Jordan. I didn't know how I felt about Jordan Osterley, but I kind of like him a little bit. I do. Kind of like him. I don't think he's.
I think he's been awesome.
He's going to stick
around.
Exactly
what you would hope for the spare guy.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe he does because he's a left defenseman right now. Maybe they put him with Peak and take Lowry out a little bit. I don't know. But once Lindholm comes back, you definitely anticipate him being in the full timer in the lineup. But I'm comfortable with Osterley being there. I was concerned, but not as concerned as I would have been if it was Ian Mitchell. But but we're there. Yeah, I'm happy with how the team defense is playing. I just need Swayman to perform a little bit better. Korpisalo, on the other hand, has been stellar. So I don't know. And we did say last week that he was going to play one of those games, looking at the week ahead. And I think all of us basically said we saw him playing Buffalo, right? Because we didn't see him playing against Calgary. We didn't see him playing he definitely wasn't going to play against Edmonton. But he did end up playing against Buffalo, which was a 3-1 win. I was at that game last night, which was a fun game to watch. That there was a phantom call on Wahlstrom, and the whole crowd was pissed. Like they called Wahlstrom for hooking.
Yeah, that was kind of nonsense.
I was like, where? You can't hook someone when you hit them. Like, it was nuts. But it was a Bruins win. It was a good win. It was actually a late win too, if you think about it. Like both those goals were scored within, I think, the final 3 minutes or so of the game. Quality win. Morgan Geeky had a goal that was taken off, and then Morgan Geeky went went back and scored off of a pass from Pasternak. And even he commented on it after the game and said, like, Pasta said he owed me one. And so we got him one. So that was good.
That the goal, well, I guess both of them, but the actual goal was a rocket too.
Oh yeah. Well, did you see Reimer? Reimer was pissed. Like he was pissed at the fact that
Yeah,
thing went in.
I say he was livid. But it's you see it in the replay. It's like Rizzo got taken out by the defenseman. It's not he didn't go in under his own own will. So it's like that's why they didn't even bother to challenge it. But yeah, so he was
goal
losing it.
The Coyle goal looked weird. I'll give Reimer that. Like, because I watched that live and I'm like, oh, that might get called back because he fell into him and then like he finished. But I don't know why Buffalo didn't deem to challenge it. I'm guessing it's because Reimer must have made an attempt to make the save on the puck and that's why they counted it. Like Reimer went down. You know what I mean? And it wasn't through contact of Coyle. So I don't know how that would have panned out, but I looked at that. I'm like, oh man, I mean, he made contact, but I mean, Reimer went down 50-50, but I think it was with a 1-0 game. Buffalo was not going to risk going a man down on the penalty in case they were wrong. So, I'm glad that stood.
Gotta love him.
But Reimer was pissed.
Yeah, gotta love him shoveling home his own rebound from his ass out front too.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, the Bruins, but they had numbers too. Like everyone barreled on them. That was like right after the Heat. Charlie got out of the box too. He just came in and he went and scored. So I mean, that was good. Made up for that penalty. So ironically, on that one too, everyone
all
thought
three
Buffalo.
of Zadorov's brain cells told him to get the puck over there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone thought in the Garden too that it was Buffalo that was going on the penalty kill. And when they saw Coyle go, I was like, what? Where did it happen? And then they showed the replay in the Garden HDX, and then they were like, oh, okay, that's it.
Is it still the Garden HDX?
Sure. I don't know. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know. The visuals were nice. It's very pretty.
Oh, good. I'm glad the Garden visuals were nice.
They were very nice. It was even better live. But sometimes, I feel like I got to watch it on the TV. You know what I mean? I would love a TV like that in my room.
They sell them. They sell TVs like that. Like,
do they?
Jumbotron, so with screens on 4 sides. Yeah, they sell them.
Do you want to split one? I think it's probably like $5,000, right?
Yeah, let's split one, dude. Let's put it in my house. So you can come over and watch it whenever you want.
Oh yeah, sure. Surround sound? No, I don't think at that point we need surround sound. No, he needs a heater in the basement.
Yeah, of course. What was the question?
Yeah, well,
I think the TVs will put off so much electrical load that it'll probably heat.
Well, he's got a point, Vogel.
We'll mount space heaters underneath it.
You also might need like sunglasses and sunscreen with the amount of light that thing is going to fucking shine on you. It's like you're going to get a fucking tan watching TV. Hey, think about it that way. You get a nice tan and you get to watch a Bruins game. Kill two birds with one stone.
I don't know if that'll happen, but
you're fucking
Bruins win 3-1.
Your fucking electric bill will go fucking up the wire though. Imagine
5 out of 6 points.
5 out of 6 points, guys. 5 out of 6 points. Good week. Good week. Both of you went 100% on your predictions. I went 66%.
You're damn right.
Fuck off, dude. I was so close in that Edmonton game. I don't even want to talk about it. All right, let's get into the Big Bad Bruin. Kyle, lead us off.
Big Bad Bruin, player of the week. My choice was pretty easy. It's a guy that we've been waiting for him to sort of turn the corner, wake up for us a little bit. Elias Lindholm. Stat line wasn't crazy. 2 goals, 1 assist across the 3 games, +1 rating. The lack of production you've been getting from him and really his line most of the time has been pretty tough. Prior to these 3 games, I think he had a run of like 9 games where he's held off the score sheet altogether. So seeing him sort of wake up, get points in back-to-backs was kind of huge. One thing that I did want to note that I think had a lot to do with it was in these 3 games, he recorded 12 shots. In the prior 6 games, he recorded just 6 total. So hopefully this is a little bit of a change in mentality for him, firing the puck a little more, getting the pucks on net, and just seeing what happens. So it'd be nice to see him get a little lively out there.
Yeah, I also had Elias Lindholm. Same reasons, Higgy. I think we've been harping on him, and a lot of Bruins fans have been harping on him because they signed the contract at $7.75. And they're just like, oh, is he really worth it? I think he's still worth it. I mean, he's a great two-way forward. And I think when he scored that goal against Calgary, and I think that was a huge uplifting moment for him. And he was saying all wonderful things about Calgary too, and how they welcomed him and his family and things like that. So it's not like there's no bad blood between them, but I think it was good to kind of see him break the ice there. And continue to have a good game, because I think he got 2 points in that game, and I believe he had a point against Edmonton as well. No points against Buffalo, which is fine. But I think for him, it was definitely something and worthy of some recognition. He also made some great defensive plays. He made some great forechecking plays. So I think it was just all in all, his game in the Bruins sweater this week were very impressive. So that's my take. Vogel.
Believe it or not, I also have Elias Lindholm. In kind of summing up what the two of you said in less words, I think I said a text to the group chat we had earlier that pretty early on in the week, it might have been the Calgary game, it might have been early on at Edmonton. I think it might have been Calgary that he was my front runner for the Big Bad Bruin this week. It really looked like he was starting to pick it up and play like the center we expected him to when he signed that deal. And 3 points in 3 games. We've kind of been looking for players on this team to play consistently well, and I think that he was that guy for us this week.
Hell yeah, guys. And I think that is the second time that we have swept the board with the Big Bad Bruin of the week. For your guys at HiBruiNation,
2 in a row.
That is Elias Lindholm. Elias Lindholm is our Big Bad Bruin of the week.
2 in a row, right?
2 in a row. 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
And we are definitely not cheating to watch what Higgy writes first, and then we're copying it. That is not what is happening. Because I know we were talking about
Cam had it in first this time.
Yeah, I did. You guys, we talked about it. Like, Higgy, you're just going to ruin it for us? Or you were going to pick some random Joe Schmo from the crowd, Becky Buttcheeks from the
I
balcony
told you, there's
307.
sometimes where there's a player of the week, there's a bona fide player of the week, and if Kyle doesn't pick that person, he deserves to go straight to jail.
I agree. You will hear the worst music for you if you ever go against us or pick the dumbest freaking shit. I have it all queued up for you, buddy. It's called "Fuck You, Kyle." That's the background music, just in case. Like, that's gonna be played for you if you ever just make the dumbest shit in the world, guys. That's your Big Bad Bruin. Go ahead, Iggy.
I'm calling the trademark. I'm gonna have you guys taken down using trademark music.
There you go. Oh, great. Good. Just say that. Just say that out loud. Just get us in trouble. Why don't you?
Sabotage
absolutely
yourself.
Do this. Sabotage it, you douche. Unbelievable. Oh my God.
You suck.
We're on the same team.
Did anyone else see this shit?
I wonder
Guys,
fucking team.
I fucking love that movie. I'm gonna go home. Yeah, I'm gonna go home. I already am home. I'm gonna go watch it after this. Guys, let's take a look at the week look ahead. We got 3 games Monday, and then we got Friday, Saturday. So we got a back-to-back. We got a home and home. Monday's against the Capitals. Friday and Saturday are both against the Blue Jackets. The Capitals is at TD Garden, and then we have that home and home against Columbus. Let's start with the Capitals. Why do you have versus the Capitals on here? Like, no shit. Oh, and you have versus the Blue Jackets too.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to phrase it.
Oh,
that's home, you dipshit.
You don't watch your tone with me, young man. Send you to bed without any dinner or dessert, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
What's the punishment?
It's a home game. We're at the Blue Jackets on Friday, and then back
I was just
home versus the Blue Jackets on Saturday.
I almost just said it VS. I'm like, what the fuck is VS? I'm like, oh, I think he means versus. Like, in my mind, I was reeling. You have no idea how much that messed me up.
Bruins win 3-1.
Bruins win 3-1. They get 5 points. Hey, who do you have? What do you have this week?
I got a sweep. I'm going Christmas sweep. And it's all on vibes alone. If you lose to Columbus, you deserve it. So you get them twice. So there's no fucking excuse there.
You mean like we did earlier this season, 5-1?
Yeah, we don't talk. Yeah, but that was the inflection.
Yeah, that was like before Joe Sacco.
That was when all of our worries went away because we're in the land of sunshine and rainbows now. game against Capitals, I think, is going to be a tough one. They've actually been a fun surprise this year, but I'm still pulling for it. We're pulling it out, so we're going to go for a sweep.
Take note, guys. Higgy's pulling out. All right, Vogel, what do you got?
I do not have a
Son of a
sweep,
bitch!
and going off that, I think that the Bruins, unfortunately, are going to take an L to the Capitals and then win both games back to back against Columbus.
The Dirt Boys.
I'm pretty behind in these standings, so I have to,
You have to
change
be
it up a little
logical.
bit to try to get ahead.
Yeah, do you have the updated numbers, by the way, on who's doing that? On how we're doing?
Please hold. Kim, give me your
Holding.
picks while I look it up.
I got you. Yeah,
Entertain the
you know,
people.
and I'm a good entertainer. What can I say? I have a sweeping too. I'm going to go with Kyle. I want to respect the Capitals so much and just mark that as a loss. But I feel like the Capitals that the Bruins have struggled up against for the longest time are no longer that team. And I feel like they've struggled up against them because it's like we could never solve Breeden Holtby when he was part of the team. So I feel like there's something that we can do against them. I think it's going to be an entertaining game, but I flip flop back and forth whether it was going to be a win or a loss. But I ultimately decided on a win. Hopefully it's in our own barn. I don't know if Alex Ovechkin is back yet. God, do you know anything about that?
I heard he's coming back in January. He won't be back before the holidays are finished.
Thank you, God. So that's a huge weapon that they don't have. So maybe we should take advantage of it. So maybe we can take advantage of that. We should beat Columbus both games. The Dirt Jackets. I'm convinced that 5-1 loss is just it's fake, and it was just because Montgomery was here and no one wanted to play under Montgomery at that time. But Columbus has actually been a pain in many teams' sides this year, so they might be able to squeak one out of us. I don't know. So we'll have to see. But I'm still going sweep. I'm probably gonna go like 0% this week, and they're all gonna lose, and I'm gonna cry my heart out. Vogel, what are our numbers? Speaking of numbers, he's crunching math.
All right. So we are currently, after last week, Cam, you are in first place at 26-9, currently 74.29% success rate. Kyle, you are in second at 15-9 at 62.5%. And I, after this past week, am currently tied for second at 20-12 at 62.5%.
You suck.
All right, no, not bad, guys. All right, cool. So if you need gambling advice, I guess just come to me.
So we're catching up. We're catching up.
Yeah. Dude, I need to go 100 this week. That's all I'm saying. But
Closing the gap.
Cool, guys. All right, let's get out of here. Vogel.
So as much as I wish I could go based off vibes, I need that extra bump.
Yeah, I'm trying to go off logic. To be brutally honest with you, like I've actually thought about a lot of these. Like I have like a formula in my head. I do. I just don't want to draw it out for you because it doesn't make any sense. There's like
a couple games right. He's 75%, and now he's right man with these numbers.
Yeah, I am right, dude. Watch me. You listen. You'll get to 74%.
Cam can't even count, but he's doing formulas in his head.
Yeah, dude. Watch me. It's all rainbows and unicorns, buddy. Up here, you don't even you don't even know. You don't even know. Vogel, take us out. 74%.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for HiBruiNation episode 25. Make sure to check us out on HiBruiNation.com for our blogs, our pre-games, our game recaps, and much, much more. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on all social media platforms, as well as through our website, to give us your thoughts and to be heard on the next episode if you want to send us a voice memo or a direct message. Just like fingerprints, everyone's tongue print is unique in shape and size. No one has the exact same tongue print as anybody else. And as always, we love you guys. And until next time, hold on, I got something for
Merry
you.
Christmas.
For Kyle and Cam here. As always, we love you guys. And
It's like
until
Cam
next
wants me to
time,
look
go Bruins.